increased in value for maybe 200 other different factors. The property is worth $250,000 now. So now, yeah, what's going on? This is Ola coming to you live from OLALawrence.com. Here we have a team to help you answer all the questions you may have with regards to your real estate needs here in New Jersey and across the nation, United States. So I have 7 things that I want to share with you today that you need to consider before you decide, that you need to consider when you're deciding if you should buy or rent the property that you live in, okay? And should you buy? Should you be renting? This is a very, very popular question, and I want to give you 7 things to consider before you decide to buy. Now, please share this video if you know anyone that will benefit from this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like what I'm sharing with you. And if you have any questions with regards to real estate, you can post it below. If you need a personal one-on-one consultation, all you have to do is go to OLALawrence.com, and you see the link on the screen, and click on that, and simply fill out the short form, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. Now, I'm going to be having some special guests here. They're not here right now today, but you know, we decided to kick things off, and I want to introduce myself to you again. I probably know you personally. You probably know someone that knows me, but I've been doing this for a long time. I started in real estate back in 2005. So I don't know why you're watching this video, but this information is going to be valuable for you for a long time. So this is a video you want to save. It's a video you want to reference anytime, and please share it to your friends. The first thing you want to consider when you are deciding if you should buy or rent is cost. How much is it going to cost you, both long and short term, but more importantly on a monthly basis. I want to talk about the monthly basis. What is the monthly cost to you? Because what matters right now is right now in this present time and period right now. That matters right now. The future is just the future. We don't know what that is. Memory in the past is just in the past. It's a memory is an illusion as far as we're concerned right now. Right now, what you want to consider is what's your monthly cost, and would you be better off if you're renting or if you're buying right now? That's something to consider. It's just one of 7 things I want to share with you that you want to consider. The second thing you want to consider when you're deciding to buy or rent is equity and appreciation. Okay, so equity is basically how much money you're building into the house once you purchase the property. So for example, if you own a property that's $200,000 in value, if it's worth $200,000 today, and you basically only owe about $50,000 on the property, you owe $50,000 to the bank on the property, you now have $150,000 in equity. That's what we mean by equity. So over time, when you purchase a property, you typically have maybe 0 or maybe very little equity, depending on how much money you put down in your down payment. But over time, you build that because the house also appreciates in value. That's something you want to consider when you're deciding to buy or rent. Okay, you also, as you pay down the debt, you're paying the mortgage payment every month, you're paying down the debt on the property, you're increasing equity, right? And then the house actually appreciates. So for example, let's say 6 months ago you purchased a property and you purchased it at $200,000 6 months ago. 6 months into the deal, you've paid about $5,000 out of the $200,000 loan on the property. Let's say for some weird reason you have 100% loan on the property. You owe $200,000 6 months ago, but now you owe $195,000 because you've paid $5,000 towards the principal. And let's say now today, 6 months later, the property is worth $250,000. Something nice happened, you know, Trump did something right, or whoever the president is did something incredible. So the property increased in value for maybe 200 other different factors. The property is worth $250,000 now. So not only do you have $5,000 in equity because you've paid down the debt about $5,000, but the house has actually increased by $50,000. That is $55,000 in equity that you have in that property. If you turn around and you want to sell the property, let's say you get full price for what it's worth, you can literally cash out $55,000, of course minus the difference of your closing cost, right? So that's something to consider. The third thing you want to consider is taxes, okay? And here's the angle I want to give you on taxes. Most people are very quick to tell you that you can itemize the deduction and you can deduct the your interest, how much you're paying on the interest, and that can help you save money on taxes every year. It can be true, but it can sometimes not be true. If you're an average person, you're probably going to go with the standard deduction, which is basically not itemizing your deduction on your tax returns. And in that case, you will not be taking advantage of that interest you're paying on that property. And in that case, because standard deduction is probably better anyway than itemizing all your deductions. And in that case, that will not be a factor to consider if you're an average person, but it's something to know. If you're itemizing your deduction on your taxes, it can be very beneficial because you can basically deduct the interest you're paying on the mortgage against your property. The fourth thing you want to consider is the sense of pride. Home ownership comes with the sense of pride, and that's a big deal because everything we do is driven by our mind, our state of mind, and our peace of mind, and things like that. And if it makes you feel any better for owning a property, for owning your own piece of real estate that you're paying down debt, you're increasing equity, and just the sense of ownership. If that makes you feel better, then it's a good thing to consider because that's life itself, all in itself. The fifth thing I want you to consider is inflation and savings. Okay, so money costs money. Okay, and sometimes it costs time, period. And time is much more valuable than money, right? So $10 last year is not the same thing as $10 this year because it has decreased in value generally. Okay, and real estate increases in value. And increases in value, like there's a article that I saw that says has increased in value by about 4.5% since 1975. That at the end of the day, annually, 4.5. That at the end of the day, that's better than your savings account. Your savings account is probably doing 0.25. So it's a great place to park money. So the down payment that you put into that property, that becomes equity, and that's also growing with time. It's a good thing to consider. So when you consider inflation versus savings, when you consider the value of money, you're probably better off owning your own piece of real estate rather than renting. Okay. Now, that's not always the case. It depends on your overall structure. If you're an average person, you're probably better off owning your own piece of real estate. The sixth thing that you want to consider here is what are your short and long-term goals? If you know that you're always moving and there's a very high chance you're going to move in the next 1 to 2 years, that's something you want to consider before you decide to buy and have a 30 years mortgage on a property. Now, with that being said, there are all kind of ways around that. Like, for example, one of my friends just had to move to another state entirely. His new company will buy his property if he can't sell it, and they will buy his property at about 90% of what it's worth if he's on the market and he's not able to sell it. That's not a bad idea. He can still save some money. He doesn't have to worry about not being able to sell the property. And there are many other things around that, but it's still a factor to consider. What are your short and long-term goals? Are you moving back to some home country somewhere? I mean, all these kind of things are things you want to consider when you want to buy or sell. But just understand that the fact that you may be moving in the next 2 years does not stop you from saving money today or saving money on your monthly cost. And plus, the market is always the market. You can always sell. However, you need to consider that if it's in the wrong part of the cycle, in the recession cycle, then it may not be a best fit. But it's something to consider, But generally, recessions don't come around for 5 to 10 years. And every 5 to 10 years is typically mild. The last time we have a big one was 2008. So it's just something to consider. Short and long term, what are your personal goals? If you see yourself on the same job on the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, same profession, and the same area especially, it's probably best for you to own the piece of property that you live in, and then stock your money in there as a down payment, and then build equity with time, and then pay down the debt on the property, and then your money is giving you the best possible return it can give you. The last but not least is, are you average? The last factor that you want to consider is, are you an average person? If you're an average person and you go to a 9 to 5 job and you're basically putting money in savings and you don't trade options, you don't trade anything, you're not really a business owner, you're average. Even if you started a business but your business is not returning any kind of revenue yet, you're probably better off buying the piece of real estate that you own than renting. Okay, because again, you can have some of your money doing a better job at bringing in a healthier return on investment than parking it in a savings account or putting it under the pillow. So that's something you want to consider, and hopefully that was very helpful. But those are the 7 things you want to consider if you want to buy or rent. This is a topic that we will not stop talking about, just so you know. If you have any further question, or this particular session has given has inspired other questions, please post them in the comment box below. I would appreciate that. I would love to engage with you in the comment box below. And also give us a thumbs up. If I said anything that made any sense to you, give me at least 1 thumbs up. And share this video. Just click forward on your WhatsApp, or click forward, or use the share buttons under the video and share this video with your loved ones. They will really, really appreciate it. I would definitely appreciate it. And again, we're here to help you with any of your real estate endeavors here in New Jersey and across the nation, United States. We have a solid team. You're gonna have one of them very soon here with me. We're gonna be having these conversations together, and we want to help you answer any questions and give you all the information you need to have with regards to real estate ownership, real estate brokerage, real estate investment, and things like that, and different ways where you can leverage real estate for a healthier financial life. I'll see you on the next one, and please book a consulting session with me. You can take a free consulting at OLALawrence.com. Okay, so please do that. I would love to talk to you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.